The Master's Mysteries. Tales of Magical Mastery. Episode 7. Master Dao, how did you also fall for the trick? Just when I dealt with that old man, the cunning Dao got the better of Master Liu Fengyi, who was caught off guard and kicked out by the cunning Dao. Master Dao, you have reincarnated as old Patriarch Shen. How could you easily be affected by his attack? Just as Liu Fengyi regained his footing, the cunning Dao walked straight up to him, resembling the zombie just crawled out of a grave. Master Dao, please don't force me. At that moment, the cunning Dao lost consciousness and didn't listen to Liu Fengyi's warnings. Without warning, he lunged forward. Master Dao, my apologies. Then I won't hold back. Facing the cunning Dao's fierce attacks, Liu Fengyi couldn't help but smile wryly. It was evident that the Dao had lost his sanity, and he couldn't physically fight back. It was indeed troublesome. However, the cunning Dao had impressive martial arts skills, and Liu Fengyi couldn't harm him in a short time. Finding a solution as soon as possible was the priority. With this in mind, Liu Fengyi increased his strength and forcefully pushed the cunning Dao back several steps. Reminding himself constantly to act quickly, Liu Fengyi didn't wait for the cunning Dao to steady himself before launching another attack. Master Dao, I had no choice. With full force, Liu Fengyi kicked the cunning Dao several meters away, crashing heavily into a tree trunk. Hearing the loud thud, Liu Fengyi couldn't help but feel a twinge of guilt. Ouch, that hurts. Who was that bastard? Unexpectedly, the cunning Dao's body, after the collision, regained consciousness and began crying out in pain. Liu Fengyi, you little scoundrel, you've caused trouble for me again. If one were to speak of the cunning Dao's physical resilience, it was formidable. Despite complaining about the pain, he stood up immediately. However, while he was halfway through his complaint, his body twitched strangely. Then he swiftly launched an attack at Liu Fengyi. If it weren't for Liu Fengyi's quick reaction, he would have suffered a major setback. Seeing that his previous attacks had brought the cunning Dao back to his senses, Liu Fengyi released his punches and kicks. A sweeping leg kick knocked the cunning Dao to the ground. However, the cunning Dao was not weak. He quickly adjusted his body after a flip and pounced on Liu Fengyi once again. Liu Fengyi swiftly dodged, and utilizing the momentum from a large tree, launched a counterattack. Master Dao, please take a rest. Of course, Liu Fengyi couldn't really harm the cunning Dao. After knocking him down with a punch, he immediately dropped to one knee and restrained the cunning Dao. Ahu, search nearby to see if there are any suspicious individuals. Observing the cunning Dao's alternating moments of clarity and confusion, Liu Fengyi realized that the black dog, the old man, and the cunning Dao were likely being controlled by someone using a certain method, and that person was likely nearby. Upon hearing Liu Fengyi's command, Ahu immediately disappeared into the bushes, leaving no trace. Aren't you all together? Liu Fengyi was contemplating how to temporarily bind the cunning Dao when he heard a noise behind him. It turned out that the old man from earlier had regained consciousness. Before Liu Fengyi could finish his sentence, he suddenly felt a faint breeze next to his ear, and a dangerous aura was directed towards him. Reflexively, Liu Fengyi quickly reached out and found himself holding a large insect, only to see that the insect was dark brown all over, but its head was bright red. At this moment, Liu Fengyi grabbed it and couldn't break free. It lowered its head and bit towards Liu Fengyi's hand. Liu Fengyi realized that this brightly colored insect must be highly poisonous. He quickly flicked his hand to throw the insect away, and then took out 5 copper coins from his waist, swiftly tossing them as well. These were Liu Fengyi's handy hidden weapons, the 5 Emperor copper coins. Each coin landed on one of the 5 positions surrounding the poisonous insect, forming a 5-element fire formation. In an instant, the insect burst into flames. You brat! Why are you pressing me down? The poisonous insect, burned by the fire, writhed for a moment before dying. At that moment, the incapacitated broken toast also regained consciousness. "Sir Toast, please listen to me. I have a reason." Liao Fengyi tried to explain, but the broken toast, after getting up, immediately interrogated him, accusing him of making a move against him. "Sir Toast, come and have a look. It seems to be a southern wilderness goo insect. How could it appear here?" To avoid embarrassment, Liao Fengyi hurriedly walked over to the dead insect and pointed it out to the broken toast. "Damn it!" The others ignored their confusion, and the person hidden in the tree, upon seeing his goo insect being burned to death, gritted his teeth in anger. "To dare to kill my divine insect. Watch me get another one from the immortal. I won't let you off." Just as he was about to take revenge, a small dark figure floated down lightly onto his shoulder like a falling leaf. The man thought it was a leaf from the tree and reached out to brush it away. But to his surprise, when he extended his hand, he touched something furry. As he turned his head in astonishment, he felt a sharp pain in his finger. He realized that a large rat was biting his finger tightly. Ah, a rat. This person seemed to have a natural fear of rats, and he was so scared by the sudden appearance of the large rat that he jumped up high. However, he forgot that he was currently perched on a tree. Liao Fengyi and the others were examining the charred goo insect when they suddenly heard a scream from the forest behind them, followed by a splash. While the others were puzzled, Liao Fengyi understood clearly that it must be Ahu. The person who screamed must be the one hiding in the shadows, controlling the poisonous insects to harm people. "Sir Toast, come with me." Liao Fengyi accurately pinpointed the location and motioned for the broken toast to follow him. As they entered the forest, they made a discovery. "Fengyi, this guy doesn't seem like a goo master. Well, could we have made a mistake somewhere?" As it turned out, there was indeed a person lying under the tree. However, he had already lost consciousness, but his appearance was far different from the mysterious Miaojiang wizard. "Let me wake him up first. Ask about the situation." Seeing that the person had been knocked unconscious, Liao Fengyi wanted to approach and wake him up to find out more. "Hold on. There's something wrong with this guy. Why is he moving?" Just then, the broken toast stopped him with his words. Liao Fengyi took a closer look, and indeed, at this moment, the man's head twitched occasionally, but it didn't seem like he was moving on his own. It looked more like there was something under him. Before long, the man's head tilted, and a few claws emerged first, followed by a dark object crawling out from under his head. Once that thing came out, Liao Fengyi and the broken toast could clearly see that it was a peculiar insect about half a foot long. The insect had 6 legs, similar to human fingers, and a long tail with a bone spike at the end. When it stood up, its large mouth was filled with sharp teeth. "This thing looks really disgusting." At this moment, the strange insect also noticed the two of them. It opened its big mouth and let out a loud scream, its body arching. "Sir Toast, be careful." Then they saw the tail of the insect arching like a sharp arrow, shooting towards the two of them. Liao Fengyi knew that this insect was extremely poisonous, so he quickly pushed the broken toast away and dodged backward. After missing its target, the strange insect fell behind the two of them. Liao Fengyi didn't want to let the insect escape again, so he quickly extended his hand and threw a dagger. This dagger was an ancient divine weapon passed down by his master. It specialized in dealing with evil spirits. When it pierced the strange insect, the insect let out a scream, followed by white smoke emanating from its body. Its body quickly melted as if it was splashed with sulfuric acid. This smell. This insect is probably a corpse insect. Suddenly, a foul stench of rotting bodies permeated the air. The broken toast, who had spent a long time in the Jianggu, already had a rough idea. "Hey, who are you guys? Ouch, it hurts." Just as the two of them were analyzing the source of the corpse insect, they heard a man's voice behind them. "New Sanjin, why is it you?" "G. Uncle J." At this moment, the old man also followed behind. As soon as he entered the forest, he saw the man, and then he shouted. It turned out that the old man and the man knew each other. They were from the same village. "Okay, so it's you causing chaos in the village. It's not me. I don't know anything." After listening to the old man's complaints and explanations, he finally understood. It turned out that all the strange incidents in the village recently were caused by New Sanjin controlling the insects. "I won't let you off, you brat. Uncle J. I don't know what happened to me." The old man couldn't stand it anymore and rushed forward, scolding and hitting New Sanjin. Liao Fengyi and the broken toist looked at the corpse insect on the ground and roughly understood what had happened. They quickly pulled the two apart. "I did it, but I don't understand why I did such a thing." In response to the old man's questioning, New Sanjin rubbed his aching head and stuttered. He couldn't explain it clearly, as if he was also confused. "All right, old man, let him think it over. Sanjin, you must explain this to me." The old man had watched New Sanjin grow up and couldn't believe that he would harm the villagers like this. With Liao Fengyi's persuasion, the anger finally subsided. "New Sanjin, think carefully about who put the insects on you. It didn't grow on its own." Finally, both of them calmed down. Liao Fengyi then carefully asked New Sanjin if he had encountered any strange incidents or strange people in the past few days. "Strange person? Let me think. It seems. New Sanjin was also very confused about the things he had done. When he heard Liao Fengyi's question, he furrowed his brows and carefully recalled. "Don't rush. Take your time. Ah, my head hurts. It seems." However, for some reason, his memories of the past few days were very vague. Now, as he tried to think, his head felt like it was being pricked by needles. Yes, 3 days ago, there was a person. Although the pain was unbearable, New Sanjin gradually remembered the events of the past few days. "Ah, my head hurts. That person was an old beggar. You brat. Endure it." Next, the people listened as New Sanjin held his head in pain, intermittently recounting the appearance of a strange person who had appeared in the village a few days ago.